Hey buddies, hey friends, hey guys, Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Guess what time it is? A new fragrance time. That's right. More and more fragrances being announced every day. We got a boatload. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fragrances to talk about. So we're gonna try to make this quick. We got 3 new ones from Ralph Lauren. We got a new one from Coach. We got a new one from a fragrance discounter. Yeah, fragrance discounter making their own fragrance line. So that's something new. A new one from Montblanc and a new one from Brioni. Wish me luck. A lot to talk about. Let's jump into it. In the description, guys, I'll have linked where you can go and find some more info on these in case you want to do that. And before we jump into the fragrances, I do want to remind you that if you shop at twistedlily.com or maxaroma.com you ever shop there, use the code GENTS10 for 10% off. LuckyScent.com until the end of June, the code GENTS2023 will get you 10% off. And so Avant-Garde, the code Ashton20 will get you 20% off. Okay. As I said, a lot to talk about. Where to start? Let's get started first off with the fragrance from a fragrance discounter. So a fragrance line, I should say, by a fragrance discounter, which I do not think has been done before, at least off the top of my head. Not from any of the major ones anyway. I know Fragrance Net for a little bit was pushing fragrances from the Baller line, B-A-L-R. It was on their front page and everything. I got one. It was terrible. So yeah, don't waste your time on those. But this one is from Fragrance By, fragrancebuy.ca, which I'll have linked in the description, a little more info about this one because this line is kicking off with 3 fragrances according to their website. This is the first one of the 3. The other ones will be announced here in a little bit, I guess. But yeah, the first one from FOMO Fragrances. FOMO. It's so close to Mofo. I think Mofo is a better name. But yeah, FOMO, fear of missing out. So the first fragrance is called Gary's Den. And the pricing on this one, right around $38 US, $49.95 Canadian. And I do have the note breakdown on this one. We have a top of bergamot and lavender, mid of cardamom, coriander, iris, and labdanum, and base of cedar, patchouli, vetiver, amber, musk, and vanilla. And this brand is actually one that they've been kind of teasing on the Fragrance By website for a while. If you've gone onto the Fragrance By website recently, you've no doubt seen it. Just all kinds of pictures on there saying, FragCom, get ready, the launch is near, all kinds of things like that. And I do want you guys to guess, let's guess really quickly, what this is going to smell similar to. Let's have a think on it. Dior Homme Parfum. So if you have been looking for a little Dior Homme Parfum on not quite Dior Homme Parfum budget, there you go. Now I myself have not smelled it yet, obviously, but I will try to get that in as soon as possible and let you know is good or is not so good. But there we go. FOMO Fragrances first release, Gary's Den, coming out soon. Again, about $38 US, which will fluctuate depending on exchange rates. All right, next up, let's talk about this new Coach fragrance. It is Coach Green. And this is intriguing to me because over the past few years, I would say green fragrances have not done super well. And yet, they are starting to come into vogue. I actually read an article not that long ago saying that green fragrances were going to be everywhere coming up soon. And here we go, Coach Green. A modern composition with green accents, a fragrance like a breath of fresh air. The woody and fruity green eau de toilette opens with a refreshing top note of juicy kiwi and tangy bergamot. That's actually pretty cool, kiwi. I don't see that very often. Accentuated with aromatic notes of rosemary and geranium to finish on mineral crystalline foam and masculine cedarwood. The bottle features a sophisticated shade of green inspired by colors found in nature and in Coach leather goods. It is topped with a gunmetal colored hood inspired by the emblematic clasp of Coach bags. I mean, I've always liked the Coach for Men bottles. I think they look really nice, especially when you consider that from discounters, they usually don't cost all that much, which does make it a lot more appealing. But I dig this note breakdown. It's pretty simple, only 6 notes right now, but The top looks like it could be very fresh, sweet, and maybe have kind of a tropical feel to it. The rosemary geranium, I'm guessing, is going to give you an aromatic feel as it dries down. And then crystalline foam, kind of a mineral, woody dry down. Looks like it could be a great release in the Coach for Men line. I can tell you, Coach Green, just looking at the note breakdown here, looks more appealing to me than Coach Blue, for example. And you could be looking at another big time seller here because Coach for Men is one of the best selling fragrances for men in the United States. So yeah, this could be a big one. I'm certainly looking forward to it. After that, let's tackle these Polo fragrances really quickly, and then we'll talk about the new Montblanc, a new Explorer fragrance. So Ralph Lauren has 3 new flankers to their Polo Earth line. You had the original Polo Earth, which I thought was okay, but not really great. It wasn't something that blew me away. But now we have 3 new iterations here. We'll start off with Moroccan Neroli. This fragrance captures the very essence of Neroli in all its floral and aromatic intensity. The freshness of Neroli blossoms when paired with sparkling bergamot heart and green mandarin is balanced with the aromatic note of lavender. Ambrette adds an elegant, woody, ambery touch that strikes the perfect harmony between naturality and sophistication. And they go on to say, of course, that the ingredients are sustainably sourced and that they are wanting to make products that make the world a better place. I can't imagine too many fragrance companies would come out and say, look, what we're trying to do is just harvest these ingredients as unsustainably as possible. We're trying to go scorched earth here. Actually, after we harvest the ingredients, we salt the earth. And that's what we do. And we burn down the farm. We're actually actively trying to make fragrances that make the world a worse place for everybody. We're basically like Lex Luthor. But hey, shout out Ralph Lauren. Shout out to you. If you check the official note breakdown on iFragrance Official for this one, it looks to be incorrect. It looks like it's from one of the Polo Red releases. But the actual note breakdown, a top of bergamot, black currant, grapefruit, and green mandarin. A mid of cistus, lavender, neroli, and sage, and a base of ambrette, bourbon, vanilla, cedar, vetiver, and moss. Shout out Ralph Lauren. Thanks for the full note breakdown instead of just 3 notes. And this one, yeah, I want this one. This reads to me like it could be an absolutely killer spring and summertime fragrance. All that citrus, little black currant in there to give it some tartness, offset some of that sweetness potentially. Lavender, neroli, sage, cistus, that mid could be just absolute fire. And then in the base, ambrette, little vanilla, and some woods. Yeah, this sounds good. So if this one is actually trash, I will be unbelievably let down, but I want it. The next one in the Polo Earth line is Antilles Vetiver. The iconic dark and smoky facets of vetiver heart are softened by vanilla bourbon, juxtaposed with the bold citrus tones of green mandarin and the spicy florality of Lissylang. Fragrance unfolds to reveal a brilliant, sparkling vetiver. The result, the refined fragrance that captures the naturally earthy essence of Antilles Vetiver. So this one has a top of bergamot, green mandarin, and neroli, a mid of lavender, red spider lily, sage, and Lissylang, and a base of vanilla, cedar, and vetiver. Ralph Lauren using some interesting notes here in this note breakdown. Red spider lily. Don't really see that very often, do you? Red spider lily, also known as corpse flower. Oh, great. But it does say that they're actually sweetly fragrant, according to the internet, so nice. Again, another interesting note breakdown here and another fragrance that I do want. The original Polo Earth I was not really keen on. I actually waited quite a while before I picked that up, but Vetiver is something that I'm very fond of. It does read like this is going to be on the cleaner side of vetiver fragrances, which I would expect from this line. So interestingly here, for the advertisement for this whole line, and we'll get to the last one in just 1 second. They have Polo Earth as aromatic and fresh with an intensity of 2 out of 5. That makes sense. Antilles Vetiver and Moroccan Neroli, they kind of messed up on their own advertisement here. They have the wrong names over the bottles. So Antilles Vetiver is on the far end with an intensity of 4 out of 5, and it says it's woody and fresh. if it's got some pop to it, it's got some power, it has an interesting note breakdown, and the vetiver comes through clearly, I want it. Moroccan Neroli they have as floral and fresh, which makes sense. 3 out of 5 intensity. And then the last one that we'll talk about, Provençal Sage, they have as a 2 out of 5 herbal and fresh. So this one has been created as a tribute to the rich heritage and lush botanical gardens of Provence in the south of France, an area known as the birthplace of perfumery. This one has a top of bergamot, green mandarin, neroli, and petitgrain, mid of basil, lavender, Provençal sage, and rosemary, and a base of bourbon geranium, sandalwood, and vetiver. A lot of the same notes being used across these fragrances: neroli, lavender, mandarin orange. So you've got a lot of cross-pollination here with these scents. I would say of the 3 new ones, this is the one that I am least interested in. Not that I think it's gonna be a bad fragrance or anything like that. It's just the other note breakdowns, they speak to me a little bit more. Nevertheless, I will pick this one up, I'm sure. Hopefully I like these 3 new ones a little bit more than I did the original Polo Earth. Not, again, that was bad. The opening I liked quite a lot, but as it dried down, kind of lost some of that specialness to me. All right, let's go to the new Montblanc. It is Explorer Platinum. The original Explorer, big hit in the fragrance community. Smells similar to Creed's Aventus. Then they came out with Explorer Ultra Blue, which is not that good. But now we have Platinum. Montblanc Explorer Platinum Eau de Parfum takes you on a daring adventure in the heart of the Italian mountains to capture the thrill and beauty of a journey to the peaks. The bottle reveals a precious pattern inspired by the metal bracelet of the Montblanc watch, a tribute to the 7 Summits Mountaineering Challenge. The signature Montblanc 1858 Geosphere watch inspired the bottle's textured silver sheath. The Amberwoody Eau de Parfum opens with sparkling, vibrant green notes of violet leaves and clary sage essence, exalted by an airy note of crystalline freshness reminiscent of snow and ice. The whole is enveloped in an intense and elegant cedarwood. So a very simple note breakdown right now: violet leaves, clary sage, crystalline making another appearance, and cedarwood. Just talked about Coach Green and how that has a green freshness to it, green notes, and also has crystalline foam, mineralic crystalline foam, and once again, crystalline freshness here. Is this the new thing? Green plus crystalline? Greenstaline? What? So the note breakdown there doesn't do much for me. Truthfully, I'm still hopeful that the fragrance is going to be very good. Obviously, I'm excited to try it and see how it smells and to see how it does come across, what kind of mountainous, snowy freshness we're going to be getting from this. I think certainly it's got to be better than Explorer Ultra Blue. Hopefully it is something that's very intriguing and one of the better releases of the year. But again, with this note breakdown, there's not too much that I can say about how it may come across. For me now, this fragrance is like linked, at least for the moment, with Coach Green, just because of the similarities in kind of the idea here, but they're done in very different ways. Coach Green leaning obviously much more toward the green fresh side of things, and this is more icy fresh. But we will see who does crystalline green better. Cast your votes in the comments. Last fragrance from Brioni, Eau de Parfum Essential. And would you look at that, the bottle's green. And this has a monster, a bear of a write-up, just huge. I'm not going over all that with you guys. It'll be story time at that point. Like sunlight dancing through the trees as you stroll through the gardens of an Italian palace, sparkling bergamot and brightly scented cardamom create a play of light between the soft tomato leaves. Breathe in the blue breeze and connect to the truest part of you. A statement piece with an earthy patchouli scent that is as soft and supple as a suede blazer. Patchouli is paired with specially formulated natural ingredients to enhance the woody side of the tonka bean used exclusively for this launch. Feel its power. Be honest with your personality. So it has a top of bergamot, cardamom, tomato leaf, mid of patchouli tonka, and base of frankincense and sandalwood. And it does make mention through the write-up a few different times, actually. I know I didn't read it with you guys here, but it makes mention a few times of it being a fragrance with green notes, a breezy opening with green notes, a green gradation color on the bottle that symbolizes the greenness of nature. So once again, honestly, You go through most all these fragrances, 6 of the 7 that we talked about have some form or fashion of green to them, and the ride up, the note breakdown, whatever. So that article that I read, apparently onto something. Now, I'm a big fan of tomato leaf. I know that sounds kind of strange, but there are a lot of fragrances that I have that have tomato leaf as a note, and I love almost all of them. So I'm pumped about this. And Brioni has some actually really good fragrances. Definitely under the radar compared to what your normal person in the United States is wearing, but they've got some solid stuff. And magnetic caps. So this one I will absolutely be scooping up as soon as I can find it. Typically with these, they're a little bit harder to find, so it may be one that I have to wait until it pops up at like Fragrance Buy or something, but I'll get it eventually. There we go. So many new fragrances. Let me know what you're looking forward to the most out of these 7. Thank you all for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.